And now abideth faith, hope, love, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Now that seems like that's the end of the discussion of love. But unfortunately, there is a chapter division between 13 and 14, which I think shouldn't be there. It's arbitrary. By the way, the chapter divisions in the Bible are not inspired. They were put there by people who wanted to make the Bible easier for us to read. So you hear the summary statement of what love is at the end of chapter 13. Do you know what the first verse of chapter 14 says? It says, pursue love. Here is what love looks like. The love that God has given to you. Accept it, rejoice in it, be thankful for it. Now pursue it. In other words, take control of your own life and begin to ask God to help you learn how to love better. That's what I want in my life. And here we have this prime example of that seeming paradox that stands at the center of all of these traits. The fruit is always a gift, but it is still something that requires hard work on our behalf. So that brings us to how we do this. How do I become a more loving person? I've been commanded to love. I hear people say this, I just wasn't born with much love. Or I'm just not a loving person. Like, once you say that, you're off the hook. No, you just admitted where you are, but you're really on the hook now. Nobody has the right to say, well, I know we're supposed to do this, but I just wasn't born that way. I know some of you weren't born with a loving attitude, but that doesn't mean you aren't responsible to love. So since love is both a gift and a task, here's the question that challenges us in every one of these discussions. How can we become more loving people? I'm a Christian. I know God. I know that He poured His love into my heart. I'm confident that God loves me. John 3:16 is something I know well. But do you know 1 John 3:16? We all know John 3:16. Do you know what 1 John 3:16 looks like? The 3:16s are kind of there for us to remember. By this we know love, because He laid down His life for us, and we also ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. That's 1 John 3:16. And 1 John 4:11 and 12 is similar, because if God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. So let me just lay this principle out so that we can all grab hold of it. One of the ways you learn how to love one another